salir.
Hey my dear pirates, you are on channel Straw Hat's One Piece Theories, and in today's video we're going to talk about the possibility of the legendary sword of the former pirate king Gol D. Roger being in Shanks' possession. Although the fate of Roger's saber, which has the same name as his son, Ace, is a mystery, it seems that everything indicates that Shanks is in possession of this legendary weapon, which is one of the 12 superior grade weapons. In a past video we commented on the possibility of Luffy finding this sword in Laugh Tale, but what if it is closer than we think? What if during all this time the sword of Gol D. Roger was with Shanks? Is this possible? Well, Chapter 1079 of the One Piece manga might have answered that question for us. So have we finally cracked this riddle about the sword of Roger? Well, we're going to analyze all this in today's video. So if you want to be a pirate king like me and achieve eternal glory, go ahead and press the like button with all the power of your devil fruit. And if you're new here my dear sailor, already subscribe to the channel and don't forget to activate the notifications bell so you don't miss any new video, okay? Then join this crew that will dominate the entire Grand Line and the New World. Now without further ado let's get to this epic video. And well my dear pirate, in a previous video I commented on the possibility that Luffy ended up finding Roger's sword in Laugh Tale. After all, it was always very strange the way in which this sword disappeared, and on the day that Roger went to surrender he was still in possession of his sword. So in that video I commented on the possibility that Roger left his saber in the possession of his wife, Portgas de Rouge, so that she could keep this sword that was named after her son and later hand it over to someone trustworthy. And the only people Roger trusted most of all were Silver's Rayleigh, who was his right-hand man and first mate, and the still young and inexperienced Shanks, who even got to receive Roger's straw hat. And I believe that Shanks was one of the people most likely to be in possession of the sword of Roger due to the fact that he was also a saber wielder like Roger and like Rayleigh. In theory, Roger may have left his sword with his wife so that the world government would not steal it, so Rayleigh used it to train Shanks in the art of dominating and battle with swords and then passed it on to Shanks. And thinking about it now, I had already made a video in the past talking about the fact that Shanks lost his arm and how it bothered Mihawk to the point that he never wanted to duel with Shanks again. In that video I commented on how strange it was that Shanks used the scabbard of his sword on the same side of his right arm, since to draw a sword the right thing would be if Shanks kept his sword on the left side of his body, that is, all of that indicated that Shanks was left-handed. In some flashbacks it is possible to see Shanks always using his left hand to wield a sword, no matter where the scabbard is, which leads me to believe that actually Shanks could be ambidextrous or at least had a very good aptitude in using the notorious style, the art of fighting with two swords. Roger may have realized this ability of Shanks and that's why he left his sword to him. This is interesting to imagine because there is a theory that both the fruit that Luffy ate and the idea of a next savior of the world, a next king of the pirates, was actually Roger's son, Ace, and not Luffy. In other words, my dear pirate, it was for Shanks to have prepared Ace to be the next king of the pirates and the next Joy Boy and not Luffy, but as he ended up eating the devil's fruit first, Ace's destiny was changed, so much so that he ended up dying. Of course, this is just a theory, but it's still interesting to imagine this scenario where Roger entrusts Shanks with his hat and sword so that he can prepare his son to be his successor. But even though it is a theory, after chapter 1079 of the One Piece manga, well, it seems that this theory may end up becoming true. After all, Shanks ended up humiliating Kid and his entire gang, but the most interesting part of it all is that Shanks ended up using a skill with his sword very similar to the one Roger used. The skill is called Kamusari. It's a very powerful cut that we saw Roger use against Odin in the fateful encounter between the Roger pirates and the Whitebeard pirates. Of course, this may just be a reference to his great mentor and Shanks' ultimate idol, but this does open up a possibility for us to imagine that Shanks' Griffin saber is actually Roger's Ace saber. And yes, I know you're thinking of saying that the handguard of the two swords are different, and indeed they are, but that doesn't mean much, because if the initial idea was to hide the sword, why not change its handguard in your name? Especially because, as I always like to emphasize, Shanks is one of the most mysterious characters in One Piece. Many believe that he may even be the true enemy, the true villain, so who guarantees that Shanks is not hiding this secret from us anymore? But now I want to know your opinion about everything we commented here today. Do you believe in the possibility that Shanks received the sword of Roger and then changed his handguard to be able to hide it? Could it be that Shanks' Griffin sword is actually the former Pirate King's Ace sword? But of course, if you made it this far, it's because you like the content, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe to our channel and become one more member of our fleet, my dear sailor. And of course, do not forget to press the like button, that helps a lot in spreading the video and the channel, so help us to become the largest fleet of pirates here on YouTube, okay? A big hug for everyone, and until the next video.